Welcome back to the Mayor's Update.
Happy to be here again, Tuesday night, 6:30. Can't go wrong.
Yep.
All the things you ever wanted to know about St. Thomas and we're afraid to ask. Nobody's afraid to ask on Mayor's Update. We get
or anywhere else for that matter.
Questions. No. We were talking about that today at another meeting I was at.
Yeah, we've got a special guest, Tom Skippen.
Yes.
And he's here because he won the 2024 The Pitch by EBRC, the Elgin Business Resource Center. So as a part of our sponsorship, he got 2 spots. You've seen him before. You're seeing him again.
Yes.
We spread it out because we want to give him the best bang for his buck or the best bang for their buck for the sponsorship dollars.
And pay attention. Mm-hmm. Tom's got great stuff he does. And he'll make your pets happy, if not you.
Mm-hmm. And healthy.
He'll probably make you happy too, because I know when my pups are happy, I'm happy.
Try to look after everybody.
Right. Perfect.
There you go. And Tom, you were saying that you're rebranding a little bit. What's happening?
So what it is we're actually switching our name to Raw for Pets Canada with the slogan "More Than Just Raw." So we're looking out for everything that's to do with the well-being of your pet. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're still going to have our ancestral diets that we've been making since 2008. So that's not changing. We're adding a few more blends on it to address different issues. And we're still going to have our single ingredient dehydrated treats and stuff like that. So that's all still available. But we've decided to increase our supplement line. So we have a full line of supplements. We've also included likes of Myco Pet, Adored Beast. We also have BSC CBD oil, as well as several other blends. And then we've increased our own in-house line so that we can deal with all the different health stuff like that.
And you make or mix that yourself?
Well, my staff does.
In your business.
In our facility,
yes. Of course.
Right. Yeah. And what we also offer now is a free half-hour consult with our clinical holistic pet nutritionist and master herbalist. So this allows you to sit down, even if you just have general questions you want. Have the form you can fill out on our website now. And we can actually go through the history of it, look at it, you fill that out, and we'll sit down with a half-hour consult and go over with some different solutions that will work best customized to your pet. Some of the other things that we have that we're actually doing is we're now bringing in pet agility equipment, right from your backyard product straight up to the professional grade level on equipment like that. So this is something that you're going to see more and more of that over the next few weeks.
Keep your pet in shape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, teach them some tricks. You might even earn some circus money from this pet.
Well, to keep a pet healthy isn't always about just their diet. It's also about the stimulation and the training and stuff like that with the mind as well as the physical.
Yes.
Another thing we brought on is crash-tested safety harnesses for dogs. So it's been tested at the same level.
For buckling them in a car?
For buckling them in a car. It's been tested at the same level as an infant car seat and passed all the standards they have there. So we actually, it's Canadian made, hand stitched out of Manitoba. We bring them in and we represent the product here in Ontario. Another thing we brought in is new cat harnesses. These ones have been tested by our Bengal kittens and the Bengal cats because they're about as escape.
If they can't get out of it, nobody's going to. Okay.
So we actually had an incident where one of our Bengals got away. So we actually worked with Optimus Gear and we've developed a harness that the Bengals cannot get out of.
Escape artist.
Yeah, there you go. We've also installed a kitty corner in our store. So what that is so the kids come in and can sit and play with the kittens. So it's a kitty corner. Best to check ahead when we're going to have them in, give a quick call. We bring the kittens in for socializing. You cannot buy the kitten at the store.
But it helps the kittens become socialized with kids too, right?
But the reason I emphasize you can't buy them is because then it's safe to send your spouse there without worrying about them coming
home. That they're going to come home with a whole we got a basket full of kittens.
Yes.
And
for anyone who doesn't know, where are you located?
We're out on Highway 3 headed towards Elmer there, right beside the John Deere dealership. 43872.
So you're not too far out.
Just outside the edge of town.
That doesn't want to be in St. Thomas, just wants to be just out. No, he's St. Thomas adjacent. He's St. Thomas adjacent. So we'll let him. It's okay. Your address still says St. Thomas. You're okay.
And we've also added a spa for pets.
Okay.
So we actually have a groomer. We do cats as well as dogs there. Do nail trimming and full-fledged treatment of them there to make them feel all special.
Yeah.
We also have
Dog massage.
Yeah,
That's right.
we have a new freeze dryer in, so we're actually going to be bringing in freeze dried treats and supplements and stuff as well on that.
Okay, that's to make the treats for the pets. We don't freeze dry the pets.
No.
We did that this winter, all through Southern Ontario. It was very cold, and dry. So it was like, okay. It's the only joke I've got about freeze dry.
We're also in the process. We're partnering up with Caps Off Brewing.
Oh, yes.
We're going to.
We don't know what that is.
Is it drinks for pets?
It's actually a cat and dog beer. So it's actually healthy bone broth that's designed for the pets to help them with their health, but doing it in a nice, fun way with the Caps Off Brewing.
I like
it. Because friends don't let friends drink alone.
No. No. My pups would love to have a bottle of broth while I'm having a steak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then, like I said, we're still also increasing. There's a whole lot of other products there. We've actually launched our new website as of last week, being done by Reading Design. Again, another package that I won through the pitch contest.
Well, another very busy company, too, right? Yeah.
So there's still a little bugs being worked out right now. We only have about 2,500 of our 5,000 products loaded on there yet.
Right.
5,000 products.
So there is a lot of different products for a lot of different aspects, including gifts for that pet lover that doesn't have a pet. So somebody wants to. We have some nice custom local entrepreneurs that put products on consignment in our store to try to help the everybody out as well.
Can people buy online through your website?
Absolutely. The website is set up.
Pick up or home delivery?
So we have the raw foods and the raw whole we'll deliver right across Ontario.
Great.
Our dehydrated treats, supplements, agility equipment, and all our dry equipment, we can ship right across Canada. We don't go the other side of the snow wall.
Not this moment.
Got a question in from one of our viewers, and they're asking, any food for a cat with gastro issues?
Absolutely. There is stuff there and there's different supplements on top of the food that will help that. So my recommendation would be to come in and, like I said, set up a half-hour free consult with our clinical holistic pet nutritionist and master herbalist. She'll go over it. We can do it in person. Ideally, if you bring the pet in with you, it gives her a chance to take a look at it.
Good chance.
But if you can't, that's fine. And she can also do it over the phone consult if for some reason you can't make it into the store.
What's your phone number?
519-207-2480.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm surprised I remembered that.
Good job.
Smartphones now. We don't have to be smart.
No. You just push a button. And somebody asks you your address or postal code or somebody else's phone number. Just a second. I got to ring it. Hit stop real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can tell them. Yeah. Not as bright as I used to be.
No. I remember my parents' phone number, my phone number, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And that's only because their phone number has been the phone number since I was at the house. So
it still rings in that house too, I bet.
No, it's gone to the cell phone.
Gone to the cell phone.
Yeah, they're all cell phone. My dad and my mom both have cell phones. No landline.
Right.
Actually, my mom and dad just got rid of their party line.
Yeah. I used to love the party line, but that's just for listening in.
I always said that we're not going to fight over who gets anything with the house or anything. We're all going to fight over who gets the phone bill because their phone bill was $9.25 a month.
I'm keeping that line.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, a little higher these days.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on what you're doing and your growth. Yeah. So it's incredible, the businesses in our area now, how many of them, and the successes and the business development through EBRC and through our own EDC, and the mentoring that's available out there for someone who wants to grow a new business.
They're an amazing group of people there. Yeah. They have been such a big help for us to make this and helped us to get to the decision to take the leap of faith and make this expansion. Like without their help, we'd probably be doing something totally different. So
then you go get their help, and then you do what you're doing now. And that's the reason we have good advisors out there and the good mentors that are out there.
And they're great. Like, it's one of those things that going through the steps that I did through the pitch contest was something that was very much of a learning experience for myself. And it's something I encourage all businesses to participate in. Yeah. Even if you don't want to do the presentation, they will let you step out and not step up in front of the stage to do it. But it's a great learning steps to learn the business, writing a business plan, financing forecast, all the steps that need to be done to either expand or launch a new business.
Right. And there is a million mentors out there. How many people do you mentor, even on a weekly basis? And I get the same thing.
Yeah.
And I spoke at a class at Fanshawe just last week where I said that to a bunch of business students. What do you want? And who do you think's the best at it? Go ask them, and they will mentor you. I've never seen anybody get turned down. Business people are as open as they can be. Somebody comes to you tomorrow and says, well, I'm thinking of doing something similar. Would you talk to them for half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, and tell them how you got to where you are?
Probably allow a little bit more time than that.
Okay,
yes.
a couple of
According to my wife, I like to talk, apparently.
Okay.
But yes, absolutely. Like if somebody wanting to figure out how to make raw meals for their
Right.
own, we will help guide you, because our interest is what's the best interest of your pet.
Right. How do I make?
So it's not like you have to buy our products. We'd like you to.
Of course.
But, you don't have to.
But if you do that from a business point of view, from a friendship point of view, from a nutritional guideline point of view, from a counseling point of view, you're assuming a majority of these people are going to become your customers, and that's a great way to do business, right?
We do a lot of pet events. So we actually I have the big black truck, which probably most people have seen around town logoed up. I now have a big black trailer that's going to get logoed up here in the next few weeks as well. And we travel around all across Ontario to different specialty pet events. We were at the Toronto Sportsman Show last weekend. And it's something that we have a lot of people come up and not realize all the different benefits that you can do to help your pet have a longer life and enjoy life.
Right.
And so you can enjoy time with your pet.
Yes. Rather than just sitting in my lap, licking my face.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, Tom, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for all you're doing and the growth you're showing in our community.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. We're going to rock on here, but safe travels back to your pets.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We want to cover some other things that happened this week, but we're not getting many city questions. So let's go ahead now and say, hey, you got anything to share?
Yep.
Got anything you want to tell us? I'll move more to the middle. You move more to the middle. We're in good shape.
Perfect.
Right. And I haven't read any of the questions up there. I'm trying to read up here. I forgot. I can read up here and it's bigger.
Mm-hmm. And Doug Exner is saying he prefers to shop and support local businesses. Well, that's a local business you can support right there.
And your pets will love it, right? When is Fairview Bridge being lowered? That's happening after First Ave is finished, because like we said, we didn't want both of those major constructions happening at the same time. So I think we're till June till June on the Fairview, on the First Ave water pipe and Wellington to Talbot construction, and then anytime after that, the Fairview Ave lowering of those two old railroad overpasses are going to happen this summer. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole new intersection you see at Fairview, Burwell, and Talbot. That
cool.
intersection. So looking forward to I've never seen it without the railway hump.
I know.
I know. So it's a lot better.
Yeah, and then if you were going on out by Yarmouth Yards, like on Highbury, you would have noticed there was a bunch of work going on under the rail lines out there, the CP line there.
Yeah.
They're actually putting in wastewater. So if you tune into this week's Beehive, you'll see all the details that were filmed or the 3 days they're working on it, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Well, and a lot of work happening out there for storm management ponds in that area. And people say, I keep going by and there's 27 trucks working all the time. We go, yes, we're not lying to you. This is going to be one of the biggest facilities in the world, and in order to get the site ready for them and other suppliers that are going to be there, we continue to use when we have good weather to get at it. If you're not following Beehive, you get to really learn.
You see all the details. You meet the people that are doing the work. You learn about the things like these stormwater ponds, and then there's the Uber pond, which will be on the east side.
It will be Lake Margaret size pond.
Yeah, and should we tell them who our guest is next week?
I think we can. Sure. Let's do it. So Doug Terry coming next week?
Doug Terry's coming next week.
Yeah.
There are a lot of projects that he's been working on. And if you talk to him about stormwater ponds, what you'll notice is he talks about bring them into the ecology of the area.
Yeah. Quit putting them on the peripheral of the area and put them in the middle of your of the work you're doing.
Naturalize it.
Wait, and I'm sure he'll share a lot more of that to us too, because they just won another award, whether it's net zero or.
I saw that. Yeah.
Right. I can't keep track of all the different awards, so we're going to have a good conversation with Doug here next week on Mayor's Update.
Yeah.
And then the week after, if all goes well, we're going to do one of these really far away ones. I'll be in Germany, and you'll be here, and we'll do Mayor's Update and talk about.
I can't wait.
What's happening with Volkswagen in Salzgitter and all of the rest. We got lots of fun things we're going to go see. Right, let's see. Any other questions out there tonight?
We got a question from Brett Longfield. He's asking what was on council's agenda yesterday and how will St. Thomas be affected?
Let's get through some of it then.
All right, let's get to it.
First one was the urban design guidelines came to council about 3 weeks ago. We asked staff to go away and bring us back some better justification and some other reports on it. So we now have accepted the urban guideline report from Dylan and our own planning department. We talked about an application for part lock control on some semi-detached buildings that Doug Terry's is building. Housing Accelerator Fund update. That is a large tranche of money from the federal government, I believe, that we're using for a number of different things that have to do with housing in our community. And so that's happening. More to come on other housing later on in the agenda. Firehouse, our fire department change room expansion. The old fire hall did not have a change room option for women firefighters, and so we said, well, we've got to fix that. So we've had to add that. They're in the middle of doing that right now. Somebody asked, well, what about the Redmond Fire Hall? We said, well, it's been built more recently, so it was built with the facility for all. So,
and that's the one that's over on
Burwell and South Edgewater. Yes. Then just some real good work that gets done every year. The St. Thomas Water Distribution System Annual Report, the St. Thomas Sewage Collection Annual Report, the St. Thomas Water Pollution Plant Annual Report. And you know what? We're pretty dang good. The people who work in these systems for us here in St. Thomas do a great job. And these reports really show how much of that really is critical for a growing community like ours, and as we grow a new pollution control plant, that we can live off the fact that we already know how to do it. We're doing it very well. Report from Justin and his team in the industrial development update. So what's happening in the totality of the Yarmouth Yards, and then private sector salary disclosure that happens every year, the sunshine list they used to call this. And so we've identified that the list is prepared and it's coming out. I don't know why it takes 2 stages to do it.
Now, have they changed the value for the sunshine list, or is it still the same?
It is stated 100,000. It was there 10 years ago, and it's still there. That's that anybody earning that amount or above gets, right? And now we have, more firefighters, more police officers that really cross over that, and that's what they're worth with where we are. So it will be obviously you can check your friends' names and see if they're on there. We accepted a report from our clerk on the running of the 2026 municipal election. We hired a company that we've used the last 2 that allowed us to use phone and internet voting, along with putting iPads at some voting sites so we could sit there and teach people how to vote if we had to. But it's the same thing as the last 2 elections. Election 2026, you will be able to vote from home, from your lazy boy, from your phone, from wherever you want to.
Perfect.
Right? And we hope that helps. We talked a lot about voter turnout last night. And the question is, if you can, first of all, remove all the barriers with a great voting system to make it easier. Then you have a chance of upping voter turnout when there's an election with a big issue or something that's happening in it. So, but it's not possible, or it's a lot harder to do under antiquated voting systems. And this is the best. We had no downtime in the last 2 elections using this company. So we're pretty pleased with having them. We did all the bylaws. We had a closed session. I can't really tell you much else in there. And then we did 3 public meetings last night, and I'll quickly get through each of those. The first one was a rezoning of what we would call the Food Bank and Legion. It is one big site with the Legion had, but somehow it was split into 2 lots, and so they're zoned 2 different ways. So all we did was clean it up, make it 1 lot, so that the food bank can put in a better use for the food bank on the site. So that was one public meeting. Happened pretty quick. Second public meeting is splitting the church lot at 451 Wellington. Now, this is if you take the Elgin Center and go east, there was a large lot and then a church. And the church wanted to sever off the large lot. It will become, I think, 28 townhomes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, great housing. And the church still gets to keep, it's moving its parking lot a little further behind the church. So the church gets to be there, gets to separate the land and do that. The third public meeting last night was a city-induced one, and every so often we have to go fix some of the laws we have. So one was about parking your RV in your parking lot or in your driveway. Another one is about the use of containers, shipping containers for storage and such. Another one was on taking most of the stuff out of the site plan and putting it into the signage bylaw, so that anything signage is now in the signage bylaw. And it was a bit of a cluster, being two different places in the past. So nothing is truly changed in the signage bylaw, but it's now enforceable by the signage bylaw.
And what did they say about the storage containers?
You can have them. Basically, you can. They have to meet all other requirements of being a certain distance from a fence line, same as if it was an auxiliary, a garden shed or something in your backyard. So yes, except in the downtown area, can't have them there.
What's the downtown? What's considered the downtown area?
The DDB.
Just the DDB?
Yeah. So we did talk about the storage containers we currently have at the Horton Market.
That's not in the DDB.
Well, then if it's not, then we're fine where they are.
Okay.
If it is, we can also
not,
especially apply the containers that are already there.
Oh, very good.
Okay. And that's all the work we did last night at City Council.
That seemed like a lot, actually.
Well, it was. And when you add public meetings to a regularly scheduled meetings, I think it was, one of our more long, it was like 7:30 we got out of here, which is nothing compared to most municipalities. But for us, it was, oh, gee, that's a long meeting. We seem to get it well done, right?
So we got a question in from Brett. He says, why does the St. Thomas Economic Development Corporation report separately from city staff when disclosing salaries in excess of $100,000?
Because it is a corporation of its own. It's the Economic Development Corporation. It is made up of a board of directors that includes 3 councillors from council, because it is also funded by the city, but many other business entities in town also serve on the Economic Development Corporation. So it's not, it's a corporation of its own, but because it's funded by the municipality, we certainly report salary levels there. It's just reported separately. I believe the police service also is reported separately and not in the city tranche, because it is also overseen by a police services board. But that's not to hide anything. You'll see those salaries the same as the others, but when they're done separately by other government organizations, they'll be in separate spots.
Right. Yeah. And I've definitely seen journalists who combine them all into one article.
Oh, no. And somebody will here too, of course. They're all St. Thomas taxpayer paid. So I tend to get a chance to look at them all, but it doesn't bother me that some are under the economic development so that they can follow their budget, and the police services in a different way. Or I mean.
Yeah. And Mark McKnight is saying, is that the Eastwood Church?
I think that is what the name of that church is, and I tried to think it through. Basically, right behind the mall. So I mean, I think you are right on the name. I think I knew the fellow who used to be the pastor.
Are they tied to Eastwood Housing?
Oh no. The Eastwood Church is not the one the Eastwood is on the south side of Wellington and a little further down. This church
across, like near the mall.
Yeah. This one is, if you are going eastbound on Wellington, just beyond the mall, you get into this tranche of land and that church.
Yeah.
And then you get into Doug Terry's apartment buildings. Right. So forget the name of the church. So we'll talk about it.
There are a lot of churches in St. Thomas.
Yes.
One time per capita.
Well, and many of them had large pieces of land, and they're starting to say, hey, why don't we use that for another purpose? Especially housing in our community, where we continue to need all the housing we can build.
And speaking of housing, we talked about it last week. We should talk about it again this week. We've got the Shamrock Shuffle, which is in support of the inn. So that's coming up on this Sunday.
Saturday or Sunday, 22nd.
The 22nd, whatever day that is.
Yes.
And everything kind of blurs together.
And it's got some great fundraising. There's a 50-50 draw where you can win all sorts of neat things. There's dress in costume, kind of St. Patty's Day, Shamrock Shuffle kind of stuff. I am away again this weekend, so I'm not making it to the Shamrock Shuffle. I know that I think Candace last week said, I'll sponsor you. You have to go. Well, sorry. Stephanie says I'm taking her away, so I'm going to do that.
Him away.
Pardon?
Taking him away.
No, Stephanie says I have to take her away.
Oh, you have to take her away.
Right.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I may get to go too, and it will be fun because we're together, but I can't shuffle this week. What other questions do we have about what's going on? We talked last week about pothole repair.
Yeah.
And my understanding is our customer service system is getting many of your calls. If you spot a pothole in the city of St. Thomas, please let us know.
And we have a bunch of snow plows. We have to decide some. I don't know if maybe we'll do it next week or what.
Well, you and I can talk about this next week, but we got let's share some of the names.
It's so good.
We've got some great snowplow names, and remember, we're going to pick naming of some snowplows, some sidewalk snowplows, and the parks snowplows, because our parks do sidewalk plowing too. So we thought we'd throw some of that in. But General Plow's chicken is, I think, one of my favorites. What's yours here?
But Plowy McPlowface is mine.
We have Plowy McPlowface. Betty Whiteout. The Thorntonator. What do we got down here?
The abominable snowplow.
The Blizzard of Oz. Sled Zeppelin.
Flurious George.
Right. Snow Thornton.
Scoop Dog.
Yeah, Scoop Dog. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so Grayden and I have promised that we were going to give Melissa, who is running this on our website, on the city website, some of our choices. And then I think she's also going to put out some popular People's Choice stuff. So watch for that this week, because we've got to get this done and get some snowplows named. And we'd like to run this next year. So we're not going to name all of our snowplows this year. We're going to pick some of our favorites, and you can enter the contest again next year.
So happy this is happening.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And other events. We have the home show coming up. We've talked about that. And we have the Impact Awards. That's also coming up very quickly. Yeah. What other events? Oh, there was an art show you were mentioning just before we went live.
Something going on at the Holiday Inn about art. I saw a bunch of
St. Thomas art
signs this morning. So
yeah,
I meant to write it down. But sometimes when you're driving your car,
you shouldn't be writing things down.
Shouldn't be writing it down. Yeah. I should just call you directly from my car and say, "Hey, Grayden, find out about this art show."
Totally.
Often I get an email and I'm in the middle of another event. I just send it off to
include this.
Grayden, put this in for Mayor's Update, and then we both forget to do it anyway.
I know. So, don't tell them that.
So the St. Thomas Art Guild, is that what this one is?
Yes. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Friday, March 21st through to Sunday, March 23rd. Go to stthomasartguild.com for all the details.
Yeah.
My paint night, which is on Thursday, is sold out.
Yes, your paint night. Sold out.
60 people are coming.
I didn't get my name in quick enough.
Yeah. Next time, Joe. Next time.
Yeah. I have no artistic ability. We learned that when we had artists here.
I'll teach you artistic ability. I can teach anybody. Doing it for years. You wait and see.
That's like Stephanie trying to teach me how to sing.
I can't wait to teach you. I'm very excited.
Not possible.
Can't wait to show everybody the results. We made a gingerbread house together. Remember that?
No, I remember that.
Actually, Stephanie made a gingerbread house.
Stephanie ended up, we just supervised. We made all the parts and then said, no, make it look like this. No, help us do this. Right? I baked all the gingerbread sheets. I can do the rough.
There was a lot of gingerbread. It was incredible.
Anyway, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Art Center also has an amazing show on here. Beyond the Horizon, the Salon of William St. Thomas Smith, one of my favorite artists.
Right.
They also have an Ontario Society of Artists show going on. It looks phenomenal. I've got to get in and see it. I've seen the pictures. It looks incredible. So those are also happening. And we're at the end of our time. We're gone through it.
That fast already again.
Yeah.
Any other questions up here? Brent asks, is it governed by a separate board that's the EDC in the city of St. Thomas? It's a city-run board, but it also falls under the Municipal Act, Economic Development.
Yeah.
Right. So it's whenever you see something that is city, it has a lot to do with the province, because the rules for the Municipal Act are under the province.
And then we've got Candace saying, a likely excuse about going to the cottage.
No, I was ignoring that she had written that on there.
And Deb Longate is saying she's going to be there on Thursday. So, Deb, that's great. I'll see you out there.
Are you coming for the brews or for the art?
The art, I'm sure the art.
Okay.
But there's also, they've got a full bar there, so you
Yes.
can have a drink, you can do some painting. So brushes and bubbly, I think that's what they're
yes, that's it. If I said brews and it's bubbly. Yes. But I could probably paint better with bubbly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think everybody does. So Sharon Montgomery Anderson saying sidewalk plows should be salt shaker 1 and 2.
Yeah, because we did put a lot of salt on the sidewalks this year, but
so the salters, I
met many people who said thank you for making it so I could still go out and walk, because it was a little slippery on this was a real winter.
It was finally after years.
Yeah,
we finally got a real one. Oh man, hey, did you hear that Bruce Lee had a brother? He was vegan. His name was Brocco Lee.
Brocco Lee. Okay, that's it. I love the joke, and I will steal it. I give you credit the first time I tell it. After that, it's my joke.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Deal.
I like it.
Deal. All right, we're at the end of our time here, folks. Thanks for joining us. It's been great. Hope you learned a little bit about Raw for Pets and everything they've got to offer. The EBRC, all the St. Thomas deals.
Tune in. We hope for Doug Terry next week. And then lots of surprises coming up. We did, remember, we're going to have Sarah Coleman on.
Yeah, Sarah Coleman. We're going to schedule it in.
On food.
Yep.
So that's coming up too.
Things are happening. See you next Tuesday, folks.
Yes.